It is officially 10 a.m. I call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Here.
Commissioner Buckley?
Here.
Commissioner Taylor?
Here.
As you wish, please stand for the invocation and the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, please be with us today as we go through this meeting and do what's best for the county. Keep us all safe today as we go on our way. And just look out after us and guide us. I ask this in your Son, Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Thank you. The consent agenda consists of the approval of minutes of last week's meeting, monthly reports from the auditor and the county clerk, and an appointment order from the prosecuting attorney's office, Melissa Gower, legal secretary. Motion?
I make a motion we approve the consent agenda made.
Second.
Consent agenda for everything?
Everything.
Okay, thank you. And second for everything, right?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
waiting for the rest
All right.
of it.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you. There are no table agenda items. Now, Spectrum is going to give us a discussion on high-speed internet coverage contract. Spectrum? Please start with your name.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mike Bodway. I'm a senior manager with Government Affairs for Charter Communications, as Spectrum. We are here in all throughout St. Francis County. What we wanted to come and talk to you guys about today is really sort of an initial conversation to make sure you guys are aware. Late last year and beginning of this year, Charter participated in the Rural Digital Opportunity Fund, which is a federal program through the Federal Communications Commission, where it's a reverse auction. The feds will put up various areas around the country that are classified as unserved, meaning they don't have access to 25/3 internet speeds. And then providers will bid on those in order to put up, we'll put up this much capital, and then the feds will pick, whoever the highest bidder is, the feds will pick the rest. Charter participated in that for the first time this last year. And so we're going around and trying to meet with everyone where we won areas to build through the federal government. And so there are about 2,000 locations here in St. Francis County that we are building.
Is the location a household?
A location, yes, a household, a business, those sort of things. And so that's the program. We're just getting started. Charter in and of itself is a gigantic company around the country, and we are actually building a construction company within our company for this build across the country. In Missouri, we're building to about 60,000 households. We're putting in about $250 million. The feds are kicking in another 50. And so we're sort of in the early stages of getting that team put together. But in the meantime, we're getting out and trying to talk with the local policymakers just to kind of make them aware that we're coming. This program is over a 6-year period. The build will happen over that time frame. And so we're wanting to make sure people are aware. I'll probably be back down in the fall to revisit the issue with you guys again. We'll know more as a company about where things are at, but we wanted to start an initial conversation with you all about this, because we could potentially need your help. 90% of the time, these issues are like the construction is going to go fine. Our construction teams will work with the local, permits and co-ops and everything that they need in order to get through. We want to start a conversation with you guys just to make sure we know of any landmines, that we need to be aware of as we're building, or in the off chance that there are issues that come up. It does us no good to be in construction. We want to have something built as soon as possible, so we're signing up customers and getting that revenue as a company. So we want to expedite the build as fast as possible. So yeah.
Who determines underserved?
The federal government classifies underserved areas as lacking access to internet speeds of 25 megabits download speed,
right,
and 3 megabits upload speed. And they do it by census block. This is a flaw in the way that the feds currently do it. In a given census block, which you start getting out in rural areas, they could be extremely large. If one household has access to that speed, the entire census block is classified as served. And so these areas are areas that do not even have that. So I think from their perspective, the Fed's perspective, they want to say, we're going to spend it where we absolutely know the service is not at. Meanwhile, they are working through trying to change the way that they're mapping this stuff out so that they could potentially down the road target funding to those areas within those census blocks that may not have access.
So it's very possible that when you're finished with this first batch of work, an area could have 20–50% not served, and yet be classified as served.
We will be, these areas that we will be building, we will build the entire census block. That's our plan right now.
So that one house behind the hill will make it.
That's our plan, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Our IT director may have questions for you.
No, I've been, our contact, Colin Fields, I've been talking with him lately here, and we've been discussing about
Sure.
this idea. So we are aware of it. If you want to work together, I'd be interested in talking with you after the meeting.
Yeah,
and that way we can kind of pinpoint what we could do to help you guys
Yeah.
and get everything down.
So that's very good. The other thing I did want to talk to you about, and just to sort of throw this out to you guys, I know all the counties, we met with a number of counties yesterday in regards to ARPA. Everyone is, I think Washington County just said they got their first payment. No one knows what they're doing with that funding yet. And there's a lot of things that you can be spending that money on. And we're not saying you should spend it on broadband necessarily, because there's a lot of, like I said, a lot of things you could be looking at doing that money. But if you do happen to want to do something in the broadband space, we just want to sort of throw out our, just say we want to be a part of that conversation. If there are opportunities to be able to sort of piggyback off the areas that we're already going to be building to make it an even bigger bill, we want to know that. If there are just areas in and around St. Francis County that lack service that you guys want to put some funding up towards in order to help make it make more financial sense for us or another provider, we want to have that conversation with you guys. But knowing that you likely don't know what you're going to do with those funds yet, but we want to make sure we're throwing that out there. We want to be a part of the solution if that's a road you guys choose to go down.
I understand new rules are being discussed today on that, but my point is, right now the rules don't allow infrastructure. That may change, but it's COVID-19 only, as far as we understand it.
For CARES Act, that is.
Okay, you're talking about the initial.
I'm talking about for this last one,
The first
the Biden bucks.
The American recovery.
Yeah, ARPA.
Which is still changing.
Yeah, I think they've done draft final interim rules, whatever that is.
Yes.
And there's
Yeah.
another one coming out today apparently, so.
Yeah, and they were supposed to be finalizing the final rule. So I don't know what those are gonna say, but part of that, like broadband, sewer, water, those sort of things are all allowable expenses from that. So if you guys do wanna do something in that space, we'll be part of that conversation. So when I come back down, probably later this summer, in the fall, I may sort of revisit that with you, see
Yeah, I
where you
think
guys are.
one of the original rules said sewer, water, and broadband.
Yeah.
Puts you kind of in a category there, but other than that.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. I
No
appreciate
problem,
that.
thank you.
Any questions? Yes.
I have a question. So just to clarify, your initial construction is going to be company financed?
Yeah, so this is just a partnership with the FCC, basically. That's the challenge that all these providers are going through, is it just doesn't, that last mile is super expensive to get to. It just becomes just an issue of access to capital. And so this program allows us to put up private resources, and then the feds kick in the additional resources to make it make more financial sense to build to these areas that are fairly, sparsely populated or, difficult to get to. There's a ton of rock and, in these areas that when we're digging through rock, it just increases the cost.
Sure, but what your information before this commission then is a projected request from this county for funding possible through the American Relief Program?
No, that is something that if we are building our Rural Digital Opportunity Fund projects. If the commission makes a decision they want to spend some of their resources to go beyond those areas, we would just want to be a part of that conversation. So there's no request necessarily to say you should do it, but if you do, we want to have that open line of communication.
Will we also be hearing a request possibly from Big River?
We thought that they may be here now, and they were invited, I think, so, for this.
And would there be other companies possibly involved?
I don't know who else received RDOF funds through, in St. Francis County. But there could be.
Let me grab this one, Louis.
Yeah.
Here's what I'd say. I'd say if the county decides they want to put money into broadband, they should work with all the providers to identify those areas which are still unserved. And I'd put out an RFP and get us to compete against one another to serve those households and businesses. That's what I would do if I was in your position. And, you know, I'm hoping that my company decides to put in a bid, you know, use some of our own private capital, partner with what we ask for you. And then, you know, you've got a couple different things to look at. How much would we need from the county? And also what speeds would we provide? You can choose which one's best to fit the needs of your constituents.
So what I picked up on this so far is you have a contract, and the company plus the federal will pay all the first initial work.
Yeah.
Bring up to some standard.
For 2,000 locations in St. Francis County.
Okay.
You're exactly right.
And then there's probability that there'll be other work needing to be done.
There's other households in this county which are unserved.
Okay,
Yes.
so at that point, we do the RFP. Request.
You can't. I mean, that's up to you.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what we would do.
Exactly.
And so at that point, we would determine the needs and go for an RFP to go for more work.
Yeah, and we're here to say, you know, we want to partner with you. If you want to go down that road, we would love to have that discussion. You know, I'll bring my construction people down here that actually know what they're talking about, not like Mike and I. You know. We sound good on the radio.
After that comment, would you please identify
Yeah.
yourself?
No, I'm sorry, my name's Jared Paul.
Thank you.
So really, the request is really on these initial projects. Our request for the commission is just to have an open dialogue, to make sure that once construction starts, construction happens as soon as possible. And so we want to make sure that we're working with you guys and all the permits and everything that need to be done, the county, to make sure that all that moves quickly. If there are issues that come up with some sort of a pole attachment issue with co-op, we want to be engaging with you guys. If there's issues crossing railroads or something, we want to have a conversation with you guys as well. We want to work with you all to help facilitate a quick build so that we can get access to citizens.
Where would we get all information on what parts are not serviced right now? Do we have that?
So if you don't mind, I can share this with the clerk's office and they can get it to you. I can send you some information. I'll send you the map, the federal map of the area of who's getting what, so that way you can see if there's anyone else getting funds to build through this program over the coming years. You can see where we're going to
You
go.
have your work area, and then we'll have outside of that is something that we could potentially. Yes, awesome.
So you have a 6-year program lined out, okay?
Yeah.
And I think I heard you say in 5 years you hope to be done with that. Did I hear a pickup in that?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
We're still putting together our team. Once we get our team together, we'll have a better idea of what our build schedule looks like.
Okay.
You know, it's gonna be a lot easier for us to get to some places that are directly off of our existing footprint rather than 2 or 3 counties removed. You know, like we just met with, Reynolds County yesterday. We've got to go through about 2 counties from our existing plant to get there. So that's probably not gonna be an early one for us, unfortunately. But that's just the nature of things.
Okay.
Nice that you get that.
So some of our kids will have graduated before they get broadband.
Potentially.
Okay. All right. Any other questions or comments? Yes, Jared.
You actually guys do have that map sent to you. I sent that to you
Yes,
by email
okay.
today. What Jared sent to me
Yeah.
this morning.
Yeah.
So you guys are aware of that as well.
And we are CCO Holdings on said map. It's like an olive green, but there's different filters you can select. Like, I do not believe we were the only provider to win RDOF funding. So depending on what filter you select, you can see where we are gonna be building out, and potentially where others were awarded funds to build out.
That's CCO.
CCO. Yeah,
Thank you,
CCO
Jared.
Holdings.
Any other questions, comments? Thank you. Appreciate your
Thank you
time.
guys very much.
Okay, property and equipment insurance renewal. Is anybody here going to present that? Okay, I have here. It's time to renew parts of our insurance coverage, not our earthquake coverage for one thing, but others. And we have two quotes, and one is $62,600 a year, the other is $70,231. They're from the same company and have different coverages. The lower one is for the coverage we now have. And so, in my opinion, we shouldn't change our current coverage. The added things were, for instance, terrorism, and the definition of terrorism would be very hard to determine. So it's just, Parks, sitting there, Parks has looked at it too. So in my opinion, we should stick with the coverage we have.
That's 62 right?
62,671.
671.
Okay.
Yes, per year.
All right.
And do I have a motion?
I make a motion, we stick with our current policy that we have at $62,671.
Second?
I'll second that motion.
Now, is there any questions?
County treasurer has reviewed the policy.
Marks, you seen this? You seen it?
You're familiar with it? Your
Yes.
recommendation is?
Okay, thank you. Okay, any other questions? Okay, all in favor of extending our current coverage, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Okay. Food Services approved the annual bid for the Juvenile Detention Center. Anybody here for that? Don't see anybody? Okay, motion?
I make a motion, you have that.
They put it on the agenda to
Yeah, it's
approve
on.
To make the motion that we approve the annual bid for the food services for the Juvenile Detention Center.
I'll second that motion.
And, any questions?
I
Yes.
believe they just received one bid, is that correct?
Yeah,
From
and
that
it's
order.
continuation of existing, 1.5% discount, so, and delivery, so, okay.
So many food services.
Any other questions? All in favor of approval, aye?
Aye.
Thank you. Now we've got to reject a bid, Jared just stepped out.
Wayne back.
Yeah. Don't argue.
You might not like that. Jared?
They're
I
both
don't
big
know,
boys.
they're big boys.
Jared, I understand you want to reject your annual bids.
Yes, I do. We found cheaper costs at different places, and right now we don't need everything at once, so we can space it out. Like we were, give you an example, like batteries that we requested, since we started taking over at the courthouse and doing the sound system and moving the annex for our jury selection. We probably go through a pack of 24 almost for every trial, at least once, if not two. So we're changing that to rechargeable batteries to increase or cut down on costs and stuff. So it's just little things like that that I noticed that we need to save certain things instead of getting everything right now.
Okay, so I have a little bit extra purchasing paperwork,
Correct.
because of the lack of an annual bid.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And you're on top of that.
Yep.
Okay. Your motion, your recommendation, we reject the annual bids?
Correct. For the IT department.
Okay. So, motion?
I'll make a motion that we reject the annual bid of the ID department. Motion by Jared.
Second?
I'll second that.
Any questions? Yes.
I just want to clarify, you're not requesting approval for a vendor to substitute.
Correct, no vendor to substitute just one particular thing. Like I said, just, right now would just be everything coming at once, and we're trying to see what else we need at the courthouse to make advantage for that as we upgrade over there.
So then quotes will be obtained for all
Correct.
purchases.
We'll do 3 quotes per company unless it's under that $500 bid. So,
Doesn't hurt to keep notes on that either.
nope, I will.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Approve annual bid for the prosecuting attorney's office. Yes.
Real quick, will someone notify mineral area that their bid was rejected?
I'll have Jared do that. Okay, good point. Nobody here for the prosecuting, yeah, Ryan, okay.
That's the second person.
Yeah, well, that's not
Well,
it.
when you say the first time, you go, John.
It's me. Brian Miller with the prosecuting attorney's office. We're just requesting that you approve the annual bid that we received from MAOS earlier this year.
Office supplies, I looked at the list and
Yes, and
all
I've
office
got those
supplies,
here
yeah.
if you need to see.
Every item's itemized and price on it, yeah. Okay, your recommendation is that we approve.
Yes, it is.
Motion,
I'll make a motion that we approve the annual bid for the prosecuting attorney's office.
second.
Second.
Questions? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Brian. Almost called you Brian. That would be bad.
I've been called a lot worse,
Yeah.
promise.
Yeah, be a good one, yeah, okay. HR is coming to the table, okay.
Hello, Cory from HR. We have one longtime employee, and she has a specific title right now, deputy assessor. And when she hits that mark where she needs to go for deputy assessor two, it's not unlimited drinks, so I just need to add that on there.
No pay change.
There will be.
Not now.
No, not now.
Not now.
Not now. That would be up to the elected official to request that.
All right. But we're just adding a title onto the job
That's it.
matrix. Okay.
I make a motion at the HR's request that we add the position of deputy assessor two to matrix.
I'll second it.
Now, any questions? Yes,
What will the pay difference be between the deputy assessor 1 and 2?
75 cents.
75 cents per hour. Any more questions? And that's not being done now. We're just adding a place to go.
Right, I just know most of the standard positions from one, when you go up from a 1 to a 2 or 2 to 3, it's 75 cents. I just wanted to make sure that was still the case with this.
Okay. Now, any more questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you, Cory. Next regular meeting, right here next week, same time, same place. Now, does anybody have any correspondence? No correspondence? Nobody writes to you?
They write to me. We'll probably take care of that in public comments.
Okay, the next item is public comment. Do we have anybody with public comment? No public?
Okay, I have one.
Yes, okay.
Do I come here? or-
Yeah, stand up here with the microphone and identify yourself, please.
My name is Steve Pasternak, and I live on Adams Road. And I'm here to talk for people that live on Adams and also the Rice Road, which is, I think this has been going on since October. And I know that we do not want this, what has happened, and we do not feel that what has occurred went through the proper procedure. And I didn't find out anything about this until it was about 3 weeks ago, and one of the residents of Rice Road came to my house and told me what was going on, and I couldn't believe it. And I got looking back at the minutes, and back in October, this had actually started, where Dan Chapman, David Cater was at that meeting, requested to join Rice Road, which the county, I assume, owns because they blade that. And at that time, David Cater was the mayor of Deloge and represented the interest of Deloge, and I can understand that. But this started off, a motion was taken, and it was seconded, and then I guess approved by the vote to go on and put the road up for abandonment. And then later on in the meeting, that it was rescinded. The motion was to rescind the original. Now, I don't know what happened and why you would rescind something that had started off originally, but it did happen. Undoubtedly, something was wrong, or if it was right, you would have just continued with it. But at that time, nobody had knew anything about this Rice Road, and protocol was not followed. And from what I've heard from people that know, they said that the usual process is you let people know what's going to go on, you T-post it, you put up signs letting the people on property that it joins that road, and any other people that are affected, and nothing was done. If the county does that, it was not followed through. You know, I read on the 13th that the same situation was happening with another road, and it specifically says Clay Copeland. He said that at that meeting that he had gone on, I guess T-posted, I assume T-posted, it's a T, and it's put in the post office, and it was followed, but nobody on Rice Road had this happen. Nobody on Adams Road knew this was happening. And it was not done for our interest. It was not done for anyone's advantage. It was done to take advantage of us. And if any of you have ever been on Adams Road, you know that it comes to a dead end at the end of this Rice Road, which the county does own. And people use that road, and not me so much anymore, because there's people that are running on it, they're walking on it, they're walking their dogs on it. They drive, normally everybody on there drives slowly, and I mean, it's just a prime example of an area that the crime is very little, because there's only one inlet and the same outlet. And people buy property and have bought property because of that situation. So now what we find is there's, on the last meeting that I have here that was published, I think it was May 7th, it said that the county, the way the motion was, is now it's just transferring a portion of that road, and it didn't have, I mean, there was no abandonment done, and something is not right. I don't know if, and now David Cater is one of the commissioners. My feeling is you should represent the people of St. Francis County in our district, but you still are representing the city of Deloge. And I'll tell you exactly why. It's because everybody that I've talked to that talked to David Cater, he has, and even to me, he came to my house here, I know David personally, but in the comments made by him always is, well, this is a done deal to go into the city of Deloge. You've made those comments to people, and you know the interest of Deloge, and they've tried to take us in before, it didn't pass, but this is not right the way this was handled. I think at least it should go it's supposed to set for I think the way it's worded, for a term of a commission. I think that's 3 months. And then it's supposed to be T-posted, and it's supposed to be letting people know what's going on. So, and it says in the minutes, so people have a way that they can object and let people know on the commission that they're not for this. I also know that I had somebody, and this, by the way, I've got this, right here is the way that David Cater, Tom Boyd, who lives at the end of Rice Road, give me this. He said, Mr. Pasternak, my job takes me out of town all the time, so I'm not there a lot. But this was left on my door, and it's no more than an aerial view of our property, and with a David Cater.
But everybody was given that, correct?
Yeah, but, I mean.
I'm just saying, I'm just asking.
Yeah, but nothing's said except there's a little blue mark that says road extension, and with the card, and there's nothing where you went back, and this was done the day before the last meeting, or not the last meeting, but I think it was the May meeting. And you went there on that day, and this guy, he didn't have a chance to call you. He did call you later on, and he said that you told him that this is a done deal, that this is, Deloge is eventually going to take us in anyhow. So you're pushing that for Deloge's interest.
I think, Steve, when I came to your house, I said this is a county-wide interest. Yes.
Well, you also told me at that time, well, what Carrie and I are trying to do is we're trying to clean up some of the things that Patrick and Gabe left.
Gotcha.
So I assume
You
you're
said
trying to.
they didn't let you know about it
That's
after the
right.
meeting.
Well, hold on, let me finish mine.
Gotcha.
So undoubtedly, you're trying to clean up some of the stuff that Harold Gallagher did too, because he was with it. So you said that you're trying to clean up some of the stuff that was left for you and Carrie.
I'd let you know about it, but.
I'm not, that has nothing to know with this. What I'm saying, you're trying to
Gotcha.
change subject. But you said you're trying to clean up stuff that was left, and it did start in October. But again, you didn't give us enough time, and I guarantee you, everybody I've talked to on Adams Road is not, and it affects Adams Road more than any, because what it's gonna do, if you put in a new subdivision and open up that road, and if they put in 50 houses, they'll probably put in more than that on 48 acres. But it's gonna destroy Adams Road. And I don't know if Clay or anybody did any engineering study on that, but I was there when Bob Ward, who used to be our representative, when Adams Road was not Adams Road. It was Woody Lane. And when Woody Booyer built it. And we talked, and I was one of them to talk because I bought a lot from Francis. And I built next to Woody and across from Bob. And Bob was our state representative. And we talked the county into taking it in the road, which they did. And they asphalted it up to a little bit past Bob's. I guess, Bob was a representative. And then they started selling and building houses on pastures. My wife Joy and I, she's here with me, and we've lived there since '79. And that road is extended. And then the county, once they asphalted it, and they took in Rice Road wasn't on the original county part of it, the county took it over. And there has nothing been done major to that road since then. They chip and seal some stuff, if it gets some alligator spots on it, like this alligator squares that starts breaking up. Yeah, there's chip and seal, but there's never been a major, anything that they've done to that road to resurface it. And the reason why is because they probably think that it's not, they've got money to spend in other places that it's worse. And I can understand it. I understand that you're strapped for money. But, once start these heavy-duty equipment trucks, dump trucks, building supply trucks are going up and down. They're not designed for two huge trucks to meet together. So what's going to happen? They're going to run off the road. But more concerning to me is what about the people who walk that? What about the children that are out there riding their bikes, like my 3 grandkids? What about all this traffic that's going, there's going to be more accidents, no doubt. There's going to be, more traffic. 50 cars to a area is potentially, most people have 2 cars to a home. So that's an extra 100 cars coming up and down that road. What are they going to do when they come from Bonne Terre, which is now Hawthorne, that comes off, I call it the old Bonne Terre Deloge Road. But they come in there to go to Walmart, run through these subdivisions just to do a sharp cut. And that'll be going on 24 hours a day. What's going to keep, not only accidents going up, but what about crime? Crime will go up also. You're going to have more people going through there gawking, yard sales or whatever. Somebody sees something that they like, they come back at 2 in the morning and they steal it, and then they've got multiple outlets to go. So I want you to know that the people of Adams Road do not want this. And nobody has come up and down Adams Road, and it's affected even more than what Rice Road is. And this is not communication. And if it is, at its best, it's poor. We elect you to talk to people face to face.
There was 5 people on Rice Road.
Well, you told me when you talked to me that everybody was for it, and that's not right, that you talked to.
We received no opposition that day from the people that we talked to.
May I interject?
You can state your name, please.
You did speak. Norman Stegall. Good morning, everybody. You did speak to me, David, and I was right in the middle of a family crisis. And not to be rude, I wanted you, it worked out okay, I handled it. I wanted you out of my face as soon as possible. I don't mean that rudely. I wanted to take care of that. And in a matter as serious as Steve is expanding on, it takes some time to digest it as well.
Yes, and I'll just tell you, I sent those out to everybody because I wanted them to know something was going on in their area. The ones that affect the most are the houses that are sitting there right on the corner. One guy was home, one guy wasn't. But 5 out of this, I'm going to say 7 because the other houses, nobody lives there. They had all 3 of us, or we went, and then Jason went with the city of Deloge. talked to the people, and like you, there's gonna be traffic up and down our road, just like you said, and I said, yes, we'll need more traffic. We're taking 11 foot on each side of a 22-foot road, they're gonna expand it. And actually, when I say for the city of Deloge and the county wide, it's gonna be a great thing for the county to have 50 more new houses to 100 new houses, because people are looking to come to the area. If you don't expand, you die.
Well, let me ask you this. As a crow flies roughly from that back fence, you know where I'm talking about, the end of Rice, from that back fence over to Hawthorne, is that roughly less than a mile?
Yeah.
Would that be fair?
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Then why mess with Rice and Adams when Hawthorne as a travel thoroughfare? There's no comparison. You know that.
Yes,
You'll admit
definitely.
that,
I
right?
lived in the same area, guys.
There's absolutely no comparison. So why not have the entrance off of Hawthorne and leave our little dead end road alone? That's so much to
And I
ask.
understand that. There will be.
Or at least consider.
And to be honest with you guys, on October 13th, if you would have got the minutes for that one.
See, we had no notice of this, like Steve said.
Right.
If I had had 2 hours to digest this, me and you would have had a different conversation.
I got you. Commissioner Wilkinson made the motion to facilitate the transfer of a portion of Rice Road to be annexed into the city of Deloge city limits. Commissioner Mullins seconded it. The motion was made. All were in favor. Motion passed. That section of road, as we're talking about, I wasn't at this meeting. I was at the one before, like you said, that we need to take an abandoned road and do that by. That actually section of road is in the city limits as we speak.
Then why was that motion, why wasn't that one the one that was addressed whenever, it didn't say that it didn't say anything about transfer. The one that happened in May, it said you'd figured out a way to transfer, not for abandonment or whatever, just a simple transfer.
Right. It wasn't going up for abandonment, so it doesn't have to be posted.
I don't, but it said you, on the fifth meeting.
Yes.
That it was or you went on and you said this is gonna be rescinded.
It said Dan Chapman from the city of Deloge contacted.
What, is that the
Road
fifth
Bridge.
meeting?
This is the fifth, yes.
Please be careful about the dates, really
I'm sorry.
specify the dates.
October 5th, minutes. Dan Chapman from the city of Deloge contacted Road and Bridge. The city of Deloge is asking county to vacate the easement. Commissioner Mullins moved to approve process of abandonment, 3-month process with publication on Rice Road. Commissioner Wilkinson seconded. All were in favor. However, later in this meeting, on the 5th, it was rescinded.
That's what I said.
Okay. Then it goes on to correspondence. Down here where John Grossi talked about the commission to discuss Rice Road once again, he stated the county easement does not require commission. Petition landowners, the commission could be allowed the city of Deloge to construct a road to the property. It is requested to annex this property in the city of Deloge. Commissioner Wilkinson made the motion to rescind the vote previously made. Commissioner Mullins seconded. All were in favor and previous vote was rescinded. Commissioner Mullins made a motion to table Rice Road item. Commissioner Wilkinson seconded. All were in favor. Then get you to the next week's meeting on the 5th, or I'm sorry, the 13th of October, next meeting. Commissioner, and that's where the Commissioner Wilkinson made the motion to facilitate the transfer of a portion
It
of
was a
Rice Road.
simple transfer. Nothing went on like you just transferred it. The commission simply just transferred. But my question is.
I didn't know because I wasn't even here at that meeting, but it looks like Patrick Mullins that you said that you talked to quite a bit, and Commissioner Wilkinson made the motion.
The thing about it is though.
But they didn't let you guys know.
But the thing about it, it happened and you rescinded it, and then after that, nobody even knew at that time. There was no advertisement. You said this was advertised or talked about? What did you do?
Only abandonments are advertised,
Yes.
and they have to be by state statute. They have to be posted for 90 days for the portion of the time. This is a county right of way up to the fence line. It's a 60-foot easement.
Are you sure of the mapping that went on with the original deed?
We have what the assessor's office has, and that's what we can go off of.
I think you need to maybe check the pins and whatever, because it looks to me like the property lines go to the fence, and this is short of the fence. So, wait,
There's a 60
well,
foot
sure it is,
easement
there's a
on
picture
Rice
right
Road.
here, well, here.
Well,
there's
the
a
lines
picture,
you
but-
don't.
Those blue lines are not accurate on pictometry.
Yes.
You can't go with those.
Well, all I know is you look at the road and the fence is several
The
feet.
fence
over.
is actually, the
Exactly.
fence is actually Dan Chapman's fence, or, sorry.
I know it is, I
Lost
admitted
Creek,
it.
yes, Lost
That,
Creek.
I said the original, whenever, when they surveyed it. Where are the survey pins? Did you find the survey pins? Or did you just put pink flags where you wanted to put it? I
No,
mean,
actually, they did the survey.
who did?
Dan Chapman in the city of Deloge did the survey.
But the thing about it, that's not the original. And I'll tell you the reason why. Is because Cohen, who did the original surveys of the Francis Farm, they tried to tell me that stuff too, because Carl Peterson bought land behind me that used to be, after they sold it, and that is in the city of Deloge. They tried to tell me that their pins were over on my side. I had pins that were concreted in when Cohen did the originals. They said, well, this is our survey. I said, I don't care what your survey says. This is my survey that I've got concrete around the pins that started off in '78 whenever I bought the property. And you're saying that your survey supersedes mine? No.
There's a 60-foot easement in.
I'm not talking about, I'm saying, have you looked at the original plotting? The pins that are on the original property that was your survey, that you get a new survey, might not match up with what Cohen did. And at that time, Cohen was the major one, and he did most of the survey.
And you know they're not going the whole 60-foot easement. I think that's where I scared this young man when I went to his
Well-
place. It's not going to use full 60-foot easement.
Yeah, and we talked about that, but do you recall when we talked, because I asked you and you said this will only be temporary for construction. That's not what I'm getting today.
No, I'm sorry if
That was
if
your
I said
exact
that.
words,
I
sir.
don't think we said temporary construction.
Well,
The
you
only
did.
thing I said right now is I wanted you guys to know about it. This is going to be a road constructed by the contractor. And I know you had a lot going on, and I'm very sorry about that, I really do. But this right here, I want to step above and beyond, guys, to try to talk to, and like I said, I talked to 5 of the 7 people that live
Well-
there. And you know, I was at your house, and I was at everybody else's house that was down there. The guy on the corner across from Bullock was there even. And he had no problem with this, guys, and it's taking most of his yard.
Are you talking
We're not
about
even-
Mr. Johnson?
We're not even messing with your road. You know, your part of where you live, we're not even messing with that. You're gonna take on 137 feet to the end of the fence from where.
The
But
problem
the
is.
traffic will be, I'm sorry, Steve,
What?
the traffic will increase exponentially.
I understand.
You
Traffic
know
will
that.
increase anytime you have.
I got
progress.
3 houses going on at the end of my
Right.
street. It's a cul-de-sac and it's terrible.
But
We
it's so
walk there.
close, it's so close to Hawthorne, which is a busy
Yes.
thoroughfare, makes such better sense for
They
everybody.
will
And
have
I,
a road out there eventually, but I don't know when and I don't.
Why
I
don't
can't
they do
say
it that, from that side to start with?
I can't say, guys, that they came to the city and that's all I know
This
where it
is,
started.
I'll introduce myself. My
Yes.
name is Jeff Rasnick. I've lived on Adams Road, me and my wife, for 34 years. That's a county road, and I will say the county has always done an excellent job of maintaining in bad weather for years, okay? But now, when you've got a city road on Hawthorne, and the city wants to annex that, why isn't it coming in from the city instead of the county? So, my other comment is, if, say, I'm a contractor, and I got some property in St. Francis County somewhere, is the county gonna build me a road to that property?
County ain't building,
County
it's
won't
not
build.
building this
County's
road.
not even building this road.
County does not build.
The contractor's building the road, but at no cost to the
And
county.
who's gonna oversee the contract?
City of
That will
Deloge.
be, Jason,
Somebody
Jason
went
with
the
the
wrong
City
way.
of Public Works.
Jason Harris.
Yeah, Jason Harris. And actually, they're actually just trying to access the property so they can get the surveys done. I mean, I don't think they even have a plan yet to what,
No, they don't. I've already
So-
checked with the city. There's no engineering drawings
Yes.
or nothing so far.
My question though
Yes.
is this. Why is this being done?
Yeah, I
It's
don't,
not done for our advantage, it's done for taking advantage of us. You're doing it to take advantage, and the county is letting us do that. This isn't progress. Progress isn't gonna be affected one way, and that's a poor excuse to use. You know,
It's absolutely
It
progress.
is not progress unless we
Hold it. Let's take the personalities out.
Well, I know Clay, you know, and I have
No,
nothing
I don't
against-
care. Keep it kind.
Okay, but it's not, he's trying to, they interrupted me. This is not progress, because we've been progressing all along since this started, and none of this has been allowed. And you know, you can leave us alone and not allow this it's not, what is the advantage? It's not an advantage for us, because none of us are gonna go out and go to Von Terre that way. We're just gonna go out Adams Road, make a left, we won't go down the one way that Deloge had turned Highly Lane into, to go to Walmart, or to go anywhere else out to Park Hills, Farmington. We're gonna do the same thing we've been doing. Those people can do the same thing too. All they have to do is, if they're coming from Von Terre, come right down Hawthorne, make a left. They can make a left and go down the one way and go to Walmart. But I know what's gonna happen. They're gonna be going through the subdivision. You all know that too.
Steve, you got two neighbors, I don't mean to interrupt, you got two neighbors that looked at that house that I was looking at that's abandoned. And she says to me, with her neighbor sitting right there, I am happy this is happening. There'll be another road through there. And I said, then I'm thinking to myself, these guys won't be happy. You got two neighbors that lived down from you that said that to me that day that we went walking that property.
Okay, let me interject now. We need to come up with a basic question and basic problem, and I see part of it is ownership of the property there. That's a question. We need to resolve that. Has it been tendered over to Deloge? Are the survey marks correct? Get that determined. Who owns that property that we're talking about?
The property we're talking about is still owned by St. Francis County.
Okay.
And we are, St. Francis County through the commission is allowing this contractor to improve a portion of the easement of our road that we had not improved. They're improving a section of our road to gain access into the property.
Okay.
And it will be done under the direction of the city of Deloge, to their spec.
Okay.
Because
Now,
their specs
will
supersede ours.
Supersede
Yeah.
ours.
Well,
with
I-
curbs.
I'm sorry.
They're supersede us with the curbs and stuff that we actually.
Yeah.
So.
When all is said and done, who will own Rice Road? Is that a county road?
Yeah.
It's county road.
Okay.
That
But we don't do the
137
construction of the roadway.
No,
We're not.
that 137 feet of that roadway up to that fence will still belong to St. Francis County.
Okay.
It will just be improved by someone other than us.
Okay.
That the commission has allowed.
And Adams is a county road.
Yes.
So we will maintain that,
Still does.
realizing that there will be accelerated maintenance costs because
Yes.
of the traffic.
You realize that.
As does Hildebrecht. You recall that.
Yeah.
You know, there's heavy truck traffic on Hildebrecht. We can't regulate that.
Yeah.
We can go by MoDOT standards of weight limits per axle, but we can't say that a dump truck can't travel down a county road.
Yeah.
Or a log truck can't
Or a
travel.
concrete truck or a truss
You know,
truck, whatever.
But, you know, going back to Highly Lane, you know, I'm sure they didn't think it was progress when they put your subdivision in, but it's in. You know, this is just a continuation.
My question is, I would like somebody from the county, whether it's the road personnel or Mr. Gallagher, his associates. Why are you doing this? What is the reason behind it? Because it's existed like that for years. So why now? I want to know, why has it been done?
Because somebody asked to.
From
Why didn't they ask to come in off a Hawthorne?
We have no answer to
Hawthorne's
that.
Is progress really impacted? And I understand progress, there's a national housing shortage.
Yes.
Everybody should be aware of that. We get what you're doing. But is progress really impacted that negatively by just coming in Hawthorne?
That I don't-
It's not,
I'm
guys,
sure.
you know that.
And
I believe you said there's some
be.
utilities
You're
that.
probably right, but it's not us. I was like, keep them out from using the county road.
All you can do is say
We
no.
extend the
You're the
road.
county commission, though.
Yeah.
You have to approve this
Yeah.
stuff,
So
correct?
what would
Yes,
happen
definitely.
if a new subdivision's to be built off Hillsborough Road?
I'm sorry?
Let's say a new subdivision built
Sure.
on Hillsborough Road. If I was to purchase 200 acres and I wanted to access Hillsborough Road for my subdivision, it's the same thing. You have access to a county road.
No, that's a county, it's not a dead end road. You don't live there
It
on a
doesn't
dead end.
matter if it's dead end or not. I know I don't live there.
Are you talking about accessing Hillsborough?
I'm talking about just accessing a county road.
I think he just, comparison.
Comparison.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
but if you
I
live in a
understand
dead
it's-
end area.
You
I
get where we're
understand
going.
that.
It's gonna
residential,
change our
small
lives.
children.
I understand that, I do.
Not for the better.
And also, there's two people on Rice Road that are in their 90s that they talked to. They didn't have a clue what you were saying.
And I know Steve
But
and
they're-
I know Steve's dad really well, and I know that.
They're lost. I tried, they're sweet people.
Kristen?
Yeah.
Well, I just maybe had a slight recommendation. If there's not gonna be any piece, seen by either side to meet in the middle, and this does happen to go through and there is a traffic flow through, is there any way they could eliminate speeding and stuff with putting speed bumps across to where, maybe it would detour them, is all I'm
That's
saying.
up to your department, I mean, we regulate the signage in the roads, but,
Well, I didn't know-
enforcement's not on our part.
Well, I don't mean enforcement, I just thought it was up to you all if there was something placed like that across
If
the
they have speed
roadway.
bumps, we can put signage up.
I
There
have,
would not be speed bumps.
Why not speed
I have a
bumps?
recommendation.
Because
If,
I don't understand why.
have you all did an engineering study of the grade of the asphalt and what, all of this, is going
In other
to,
words, that's my key.
the effect it's gonna have on the road? Have you all done that?
We do understand, we've not done an engineering survey.
See, Harold, that's the thing I wish somebody would do something. And not only that, here's the answer. Put a weight restriction. Deloge has this Hawthorne, which goes to Dolomite, the old Deloge Bonterra Road, and it allows all these heavy-duty, trucks that carry all this Dolomite out of there. This is the preferred truck route.
Steve,
You're in.
I'm sorry, Steve, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
So Deloge has a sign. They want you to use this route because it can handle, it's wide enough, it'll handle those trucks if they meet somewhere on the road. It won't break up the asphalt, it's asphalted because of the weight. I guarantee you, I'm not a road professional, but it will mess this road up. And then the county's gonna have to go in and they're going to, and the only thing that's going on here is that you're doing it for Deloge. It's not doing it for people of the county, because we're not gonna use it. Everybody that lives on that road, it affects Adams Road probably more than it does Rice. Nobody said a word to us. Your brother-in-law, I went to Joe Smith, he said, Steve, I don't know anything about this. Is that right?
I don't know if he does or not, unless he's.
Well, I would think, that's a direct contact there. And Joe Smith,
I do not let my
I could
professional.
talk today for him. And he
I
said,
do not let my professional and personal life interfere.
okay, that's fine, but I'm saying that that's a good example of me proving that nobody knew anything about this. We would like for you, as a commission, to look at this before something is done. I also had, like recently before I came, that there was someone who requested the county to take a dead-end road. It was on Ridgewood Farm Road, and requested for the county to start servicing it or taking it over. And they were told that the county's not doing anything now with roads.
We're not doing anything.
And that is off of D Highway, and that's where this subdivision sits. But they were told, no, we're not doing anything with roads now. So my question is to tell somebody you're not doing anything with roads, but you're doing something with Rice Road. Is that consistent?
I think that's unfortunate verbiage on that. We would never say we're not doing anything with roads, we'll maintain point.
I'm paraphrasing, but I was told this real quick.
We would not be
I just-
taking in any new
Well, we're not
private
adding
roads.
roads.
Not adding road.
Steve, can I do that? You had a question, you said something at the beginning, sorry.
About
We're
truck
not
traffic.
doing, what's that?
Truck traffic.
Yes, we're not doing
Regulation.
anything with this road for us. They're putting the money into this road. Now, your other question was about the trucks. I think I said to you on your porch, the best thing for your area is to go into the city limits of Deloge. And I said that because they have an ordinance that trucks at a certain weight are not allowed to use they're only allowed to use Hawthorne Road, 8 Highway, and Chestnut Street for local traffic, for local deliveries only to be on the other streets. And you would be protected under the city limits. We can't keep truck traffic off of our streets. So you can have a 50-ton truck on your road anytime they want to be on there.
Well, let me
That's
make
another reason
it.
to keep them off of there.
Yeah.
But I'm saying right now, they're allowed, but under the city, you
But
can
if it
protect
doesn't, if that portion doesn't go through, they won't be.
But if they build a house on the end of your road or a couple more, what are they gonna do? If they sell
Oh,
Francis Road area,
They've been up there,
I know.
but not like a mass.
Not the volume.
amount.
The volume, and I
But
understand.
you know, let me tell you something. I was born in 1951 in Bonne Terre Hospital, but I lived in Deloge several years until I was married. And even after we were married, my wife and I lived in Deloge till we built this home. And Deloge requested, they tried to take us in several times, and it's been rejected. And I'll tell you the reason why it's been, you know, it's just like the same situation here. They want to do something to take advantage of us. They don't want to make an advantage for us, because whenever they tried to take us in, our question was, what about sewers and water? Well, we're going to do that. Yeah, we'll do that. But you know, they've never came up with a way, and if somebody tries to ask to be put onto the water or sewer, it's ridiculous what you gotta go through. Well, Park Hills owns this, and then you gotta get approval from them, and then we come in because of the original, the way that the water and sewer, what goes on with it. It's like pulling teeth. You can't, I mean, so why go into the city of Deloge? They're not gonna, we're close to the Deloge Walmart. You know, if we want, I can stand in my yard one way and there, and I'm standing in Deloge over here, and I'm on Route 2 Bonne Terre, which is now just, you know, Adams Road for 911 purposes. But I can step into Deloge just by making a 3-foot step.
Okay. Sir, you had a comment?
Yeah, I got 3 comments. First off, the comment about Hillsborough Road building that, okay. Would you, if you built the subdivision, would you have your kids ride their bikes on Hillsborough Road?
I probably wouldn't have my kids riding on Hillsborough Road
Okay.
right now anyways, but.
No.
Children use our road every day,
Understand.
every day. That will not happen if you build that road through there.
Okay.
Second off, those people that live on Rice Road paid money, $1,200 a piece, to have that road
For a
upgraded.
fact, because that road is named after my mom and dad.
Yeah. Paid for that road.
Okay, which road are you talking about?
Rice Road.
Rice Road.
Okay.
Those people paid $1,200 a piece to have that road brought up to the county specs
Yes.
for the county to take over.
Okay, before we took over.
Right, before you took, you know, they have to be up to grade before you can take them over.
Right.
What happens to all that money that those people pay?
Still there.
It's a
The
brand
road's
new,
up to grade.
brand new road put on top of there.
Okay. We need to pull this together. Yes, sir?
One last comment in regard to notice that Steve was talking about. I sit here and I heard you repeat the minutes, I think from October, maybe November, right?
October.
Last fall.
Yes.
Wouldn't it have been wise and good for everybody concerned, particularly Adams and Rice Road, to surmise these meetings, put it in a letter of notice, put it in the mail, put it in their mailboxes, so residents could sit there in their living room and slowly digest this, try to understand the impact on their area they live, on their homes. Wouldn't that have been much
I
better?
cannot speak for Wilkinson or Patrick Mullins at the time. All I can say is
May I make a suggestion?
Ryan, just a second. Go ahead.
All I can say is I made an effort to get out there and I brought the major players that are involved in this. And like I said, 5 out of the 7, you being one of them, and I understand you had problems going on. And guys, you always talk about the majority, but
You still don't have time to react in a 2-minute
I know, but if
conversation.
I'm going face to face with somebody and somebody cannot tell me, and I'm not saying your problems, trust me, I've got a lot on this week myself, but they're sitting there telling you to your face, okay, all right, it's gonna up traffic, I'd rather it not. I think you even said you'd rather not.
Well,
But-
I don't think, I promise you, I get the progress thing, I do. I can see our whole country's issues. I don't think progress has impacted one little bit from Hawthorne, not a bit.
Okay, Ryan?
Well, my proposal is this is clearly a contentious issue, and especially if you've lived in an area for a long time, you're invested in your home.
Yes.
So what I would propose is, since this happened in a previous administration, maybe we should gather the residents of this area that it affects.
Good idea.
Gather the city officials from Deloge that have their intentions, gather whatever contractor it is that is proposing to do the work, and also the county commission in a special meeting or work session, so that that affected area can really sit down and get the answers to these nitty-gritty questions, and maybe find some consensus, or ultimately, could come back to a resolution here in open.
And if I could say something to that, being part of the city before this, being part of the commission now, okay, I know the housing market the way it is. I mean, if you look at the paper, it's the way it is. You talk to realtors, Dave, where do we get new housing? And I'm gonna throw it out there. They wanna come to Farmington, they wanna come to Deloge. Don't know why, but if you talk to any realtor around here, this is where they want their housing. I'm not saying anything bad about Bonne Terre, not saying anything bad about Park Hills, but where they wanna be is those two cities. There is not enough housing. People are turning their rental houses in to sell them for twice as much as they bought them for, or 3 times as much. Talking to the constituents of the county, like doing my door-to-door at the time, hey, we need new housing, we need housing. This is talking about 50 to 100 houses, okay? You gotta get past it, I understand, because it's my house too. I go from this corner to this corner. We have to be able to look at the whole picture, and that's what they put me in this position for. They put us all in this position to look at more than just their road. That, Steve, and I told you when I was out there, you go from corner to corner and you say, that is what I'm looking at. You can't in our position. You have to take it as a whole. And same as the roads that we've got all the other traffic on. There's subdivisions out there all over the place, adding more. Take Farmington, for instance, the far side of E-Highway over on the side where KREI is. Those used to be dead-end streets. They're not dead-end streets anymore. They go out to E-Highway, and that's where they're at. They come through.
32 highway.
They're, yes. And so they're
A lot of
all
those
the
don't have
time.
access from a very close,
But
busy road.
You've been over towards if you have.
I got friends that
Yes, I know. Meadowbrook.
Schwartz,
I'm sorry?
Schwartz off 32, Schwartz
Oh.
or Pine,
There's
they're
another
connecting
one.
all
At
of
the
them.
cemetery area.
Sure,
Schwartz is a
I get
dead
that,
end road
but
right
it
now.
just seems like we got such a reasonable option here. We
And,
really
and,
do.
and you
Well,
do,
that's something-
and there will be a road, but that's something between Deloge and them. And right now, we're just giving them access to give them.
Yeah, but you've got people
to
here
park their
that you're
property.
representing, speaking
I do.
up, and you
do.
should be representing us
I do.
against Deloge.
I got you. Yeah, they're the same as, they're in the
And
county,
why
the same as
can't
you
we do
guys.
what he's saying?
Well, that will, is.
That's an excellent
That's
idea.
something we may bring
May
up.
I say something? This is-
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
Jared?
Yeah, as far as the letter that the gentleman is talking about to the commission, every commissioner meeting since I've been here at the end of June has been recorded and put on the YouTube channel for viewing for every single minute that's been here. So you can always go back and watch anything during any meetings.
I have a lot of interests in life, that ain't one of them.
Well, but it's still public, I know.
I'm not
but
trying to be a smart ass.
As far as saying, as public record, you can go right to our webpage and view it.
Yeah, but if you put a letter in my mailbox, I got that.
Yeah, but that cost savings is better for the internet to that,
Wasn't
and it
no
can reach a
savings
lot
for me.
more people.
John, did you?
Yeah, just kind of touching on what Ryan had, anytime we need to do an improvement, if it's not in the interest of the actual group in the subdivision, that's really hamstringing the improvements that road crews can do upon a road, just because maybe those 5 or 6 people are not happy, but it would benefit 100.
Well, there's more than 5 or 6 people that
I
are not
understand
happy.
that, but I'm just using that as a
Then on
comparison,
comparative basis.
This is a prime example of what you see in politics during the day. One guy is caught saying something on TV, and you said, why did you say that? Well, so-and-so does this, and he tries to, and that's exactly what David Cater did, he turned it. We weren't talking about building, we don't care about them building 100 houses behind. That's their property, they can do with it what they want.
That can't be so.
They can put 2 roads coming off Hawthorne, 3 roads, 4 roads. But why come through our subdivision when they don't have to? They don't have to come through there. And the only reason they're doing is trying to shortcut so that they don't have to go down Deloge Drive and make a right and come up past the bank and then go to the first road that they put in. They don't wanna do it, and that's the only reason to put it in. And he turned the table on us, started talking about I'm here to talk about the road.
Okay, let's stop name calling and doing that. Let's, move toward an end of this. Fellow commissioners, do you see anything wrong with Ryan's suggestion? Any, negative on that?
Do we bring the city as a whole, or do we just bring that neighborhood in? That's where I'm at.
Well, let's go
I
from
mean,
there.
because I didn't take their
The
vote
gist,
for
the
anything.
gist of it was, because this is, like John said, there is more than just the neighborhood involved, but it does significantly affect the neighborhood. So having maybe a more localized discussion of, you know, what the proposal was, who it could affect, how it affects the neighborhood, and then the vested interest there, we could have this discussion and really get the answers that you may be looking for, or, you know, people that are maybe not really aware of what your concerns are, they could hear you directly, because we don't have all the parties here. We just have little bits and pieces, so I feel like if we gather everyone together and just hash it out in a special meeting, it would be beneficial for everyone involved.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I'm civil most of the time.
And I understand.
You know, I understand. I would like for you, is what Mr. Gallagher, what I'm asking, is before something is done, just on a whim, to look at everything. You know, look at like you said, we need to look at the original, you know, is there a discrepancy in the original way Cohen, whenever he ran everything, and what somebody else comes in and do? Because, you know, one shouldn't supersede the other. I mean, so, you know, I think it needs to start there and look, is this really our property? Is it, you know, according to the original deed and that, so.
Okay, one more question.
Okay.
One more, that's it.
And that's all it'll
Okay.
be. I think this comes down to the whole goal, everybody sees it, we understand it. It's a nationwide problem. It's reasonably accomplishable without ramming through us.
Okay.
You just leave our neighborhoods quieter and peaceful.
Yeah.
We, like Mr. Resnick says, we know this has to go in there. Nobody can find a place to
When you
live.
look at- When you also go to Hawthorne Road, you're going to put traffic on them, and well, Dion, it's on the board over there now.
But that's a
He's
continuous
not happy.
thoroughfare.
Right, but he's not happy, because it's gonna put more traffic on that road, and how those people get out of their driveways. Now, the only thing is if they go through and they wanna start today on that road, if they're out there starting as we speak, there's nothing to do about it, guys.
They're not, as far as we know.
And as far as I know, no, but I'm just saying, if they were out there today, they.
Who's they,
let it-
I'm
contractor?
talking about the,
Let
Lost
it
Creek.
be, let it be clear from Road and Bridge standpoint, they approached us initially, and we pushed this into the commission to make this decision. But Road and Bridge never opposed this, nor did we promote it.
Yes. And that's true.
Mr. Gallagher, I have one last
So
comment.
we're clear with that.
I want Road and Bridge to know that I'm not knocking you in
Yeah.
any way, because on my farm, anytime that I've had a question or if I've had a problem, they've been great
Yeah.
to work with. And they've even done more. So I have no complaints about Road and Bridge, and I want you to know that. I don't wanna, drive a wedge between us, because their workmanship is great, and they've always been good to work with. They helped me on a recycling problem one time, and, it's just been great to work with them. So I don't have any complaints on that, and I want you to make sure that
Have you been to the
that.
city to ask them why they wanted to use, because like I said, guys, this has been going on for a while for Lost Creek and our building inspector and all that. So have you been to them to ask why they picked this route?
This is the first thing I knew about it was last week.
And if this is in Deloge, it ought to affect Deloge's roads,
You're right.
not the
It
county.
affects everybody.
We're in a Von Terre rural area.
The rumor was,
Yes, and yeah.
it was originally gonna be a marijuana production place, and it fell through. So I don't know, but that was a rumor going around, and more than me heard it.
Yeah.
Like that just past your house?
So,
Oh, yeah,
I don't
Right
I
there
don't
on the
know.
corner.
Okay, let's move along.
Okay.
I think we've repeated everything. Okay, I think, based on Ryan's suggestion, that we should call a special meeting, don't know where or when just now, of everyone concerned.
Good idea.
And maybe that's the city and the different roads and neighborhoods. Of course, us, Road and Bridge should be there. And we'll have to put this together, so I'm not gonna say right now, it'll be, next,
Yeah.
whatever. So we'll have to put this together, get notification out, probably be a newspaper article about it. So let's put this together and see what we can do about it. So this is a report, it wasn't on the agenda, so we can't act on it today anyway. But, okay, are there any other departmental reports? Next, Monday is Memorial Day and we will be closed, so agenda items should be in by Friday of 10 a.m.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
I'll say.
Favor? Aye?
Aye.
Thank you all, appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks for coming out.
Go ahead.